Far, you know what I had to unlearn early on in life is the praise I had for drug dealers. Because growing up, you know, go already fire. You got your people around here and they're praise and worship. I think they're the highest on the totem pole, depending on where you live. Like it's the drug dealer, maybe the athlete. I would say it's the drug dealer, the womanizer, than everybody else in regards to gets that attention and that praise. The violent person too, but that's kind of tricky, you know. Then fire when I started to fire, yeah, when I started to learn and fire myself, I said, "What kind of foolishness is this, yo?" I'm literally praising a person that's one of the most destructive forces in this environment.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain, mountain.
Fire, what you saying?
Yes, fire key, love and light. You know it going on.
No, serious thing. We are here again, Baldhead and the Dread Podcast. I want to give thanks for everyone who came out. What is it? It was about 2 weekends ago now, right? To the Black History Month celebration. Definitely the vibe.
Vibration, sweet fair, man. I tell you, and the love where the people them show up on our levels. You feel like a family type of settings, you know?
Serious thing. We give thanks for that. Far Right was there on the heights with the red, gold, and green banner. Johnny Go Figure was there spinning. Enough people passed through and show love and support. So truly appreciate that. Fire, what we're reasoning about today?
Today we're reasoning about the concept of Black people accepting the reality that we've been conditioned to a certain degree. And we have to understand that if we don't really accept that reality, then it not really make no sense. Because we have to really tell ourselves that we are the ultimate solution, but it seems like a whole heap of pointing finger and certain ones now overstand the reality of the situation, you know?
You know what I saw recently, Far Right? There's a Christian, I apologize, I don't remember the person's name, but there's a Christian rapper who was criticizing another rapper recently. And I was taken back by the criticism because based on the criticism, it led me to believe that this person thought that the behavior was unique and not their normal behavior. He was critiquing a podcast on the topics that they were discussing, right? And, you know, when people, even myself, you grow up around critical people and you think that's the norm. And as I mature and learn more, I ease off certain criticisms from certain angles. Reason being is that it seems like we're in denial about the condition or the conditioning of Black people. There's a tune, I think, Brown Skin Lady by Most Talib Kweli Fire. I don't know if it's an excerpt they made or if it's from a movie, but the man talk about how he's been conditioned and his conditioning has been conditioned. I think that's just the truth for Black people because a lot of the behaviors that we see consistently is a part of the conditioning. Now, it's not the acceptance, and we should fight to have a form of accountability. But the critique is kind of like aimless. I don't know if aimless is the word. It's not pointless, but the critique is kind of misguided because the focus should be on unconditioning your individual self instead of critiquing. There's all these like analysis of what people are doing and people aren't focusing on unconditioning themselves. And it's like, how can you criticize someone who's behaving the way they're supposed to behave, right? We have whatever program you have on your computer, right? I have Serato, right? I'm not looking at Serato to edit a paragraph. I'm not looking for Serato to do things that it's not designed to do. Serato is a tool that uses the board so you can play your music and mix your music. And it's not a justification of the behavior, but we have to acknowledge the conditioning that is there, you know. And I think people who really understand the conditioning of Black people, while Black people are in denial, are corporations, because they know what to sell us. They know what we like, right? There's all this critique about, oh, you know, the content and this. If people are watching it, it's there for a reason. The man dealing with business, he's not giving you something he don't think you're not gonna watch.
All right. You see, people don't understand the concept of economics at all in the whole scope of things and how they feel the economy. So you see the mere fact that most of our people don't understand how they fuel the economy, it shows you them not understand nothing at all when it comes to the context of the reality of the situation as we really are talking about, because everybody have this conquering mindset and this meism. We speak about meism in a couple episodes already, and it become a culture now that there's this toxicity where it seems like this toxicity drive the culture forward, and everybody accept all of these toxicity like it's supposed to be normal. And And if you, as a person who progressive and doing something, people don't really find the time for highlight even you if you are doing something progressive. What them don't know, them even overstand say, oh, the concept of a man even basically trying to do something, even if it not most means I'm gonna get it right. So one, if you know the solution or you see the solution, you can put forward a solution towards a brother too. But instead, there's this toxicity within the culture now, where it's just about criticizing and beating down a brother. You can't really beat down a man who is trying a thing too. So it's, and everybody seems to have that type of mindset. And yet still, the worst part about it, you're doing nothing to fill this void of what you complain about. So if you can't fill this void of what you complain about, why complain about it? And then complain about it so often that it leads to a type of tension. It's almost like it creates a different tension, the whole mindsets, a tension of competition, a tension of just making sure that I am the ultimate. Even when I'm not the ultimate, I need to prove that I'm the ultimate. It's almost like a mindset. Is that toxic mindset so deep that we don't understand that it's a slave master type of mindset we are taking on for ourselves. And we as a people bigger than that, but we are taking on that slave master mindset. But yet we're complaining about a slave master who have a system, not understanding that we are leading that slave master to continue that system because that slave master strives after that system. So every time you have a certain type of feeling, there's a new product for it. Yeah, it's a new product and a service. Every feeling that you have, the white man set up a structure where him can take on and make profit from any feeling that you have, and you drive his profitability. Say, but I'm not gonna really explain that to you. Say, this is how this works, but you get fed into this particular mindset, and because you get fed into this mindset so much, you start become like this person, and you strive or will become. That's why everything's so financial within the culture. Everything is just a finance thing, or we have to make money after this, but yet still making no money. What you say? You understand? So it's like an oxymoron really drop in the culture. And we have to really understand the reality of the situation, and we can't stray from it any further. It's a very serious situation for you to just avoid.
Yeah, my respect to my brother and Beers, we speak about this now. I understand there's no one culture within Black people within America or diaspora, but it seems I have to acknowledge, I'm sad to say that the larger portion of the culture has a toxic aspect to it that we're in denial about. And you spoke about the spending habits, right? And insecurity and spending go hand in hand. And like when your self-worth is very low, you do anything to buy some form of uh, prestige, placement in society, confidence. And I think polo is a great example of that. If you look at, I don't know if they changed it. I know the mission statement was though. They didn't identify themselves as a clothing brand. It was like a lifestyle brand. So by you putting on these things, you adopt this lifestyle. You know, like nothing going on. I don't know the price of the shirt now, but I remember the shirt with the horse on it back in the day. It was like $60. I don't know if it's more. By you putting that on, I guess it enhances your place in society, which really doesn't make sense because you spent money on an item that has no value after it's purchased. So I don't know how that goes, but I want to jump back to the toxic society, to toxic culture, and the things that we do that we need to acknowledge in regards to, I think one of the biggest things that we need to uncondition ourselves from doing is the consumption of the media or the type of media we consume and the type of media music we listen to. There's so much critique about what artists do or what they're not doing. And the reason they're able to do it because there's an audience to support what they're doing. I'm not sure about, I keep hearing that radio consumption is declined. So people are more, have more autonomy. That's the word they like to use in corporate far right. In regards to the to the music that they listen to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with all this freedom, right? And all this access that they have, they still listen to the same top 10 song the sister wanted them to listen to. You get what I'm saying? And it becomes a joke. And it's like you're the consumer, you have the power, but you consistently consume a certain thing. So one has to ask themselves, is this the thing that you really like? No one's forcing you to listen to this particular thing. No one's forcing you to support this type of content. but for whatever reason, this is what you look at. So one has to argue, and the algorithm would argue also, right? This is what you like. And I think that's what's the denial about it, is just fire like, this is what we like. I think it sounds good to critique it and say, hey, they shouldn't be doing this, like, because it sounds good, or I don't know, maybe you get more traffic on social media for do it. But the truth is, this is what you like, because your action shows this is what you like. And the support, the energy that you put towards, and the focus, the things you regurgitate, the things you talk about, is the thing that you supposedly don't like or shouldn't be done.
But more I know this for you. Always I hear this concept of sex sells. So who buy it? It's like sex sell, but nobody buys it. You understand? And it's one of the weirdest one of the weirdest concepts you can hear somebody try to put across, because there's no legitimate answer that you can give me to why sex sell, but nobody buys it. So why nobody not buy it and it still sell? Who it sell to? We really want to know who it sell to. It's like a facade and this illusion everybody tries to create as if things are the way they are because of this unjust system and all of this the system. When the system is a fraud, of course, but who feeds into the system and gives the system profit generating continuously? All of these criticisms not leading to any solutions. With solutions, these criticisms lead him to
Far, you know what I had to unlearn early on in life is the praise I had for drug dealers. Because growing up, you know, go already fire. You got your people around here, and they're praise and worship. I think they're the highest on the totem pole, depending on where you live. Like, it's the drug dealer, maybe the athlete. I would say it's the drug dealer, the womanizer, than everybody else in regards to gets that attention and that praise. The violent person too, but that's kind of tricky, you know. Then fire when I started to fire, yeah, when I started to learn and fire myself, I said, "What kind of foolishness is this, yo?" I'm literally praising a person that's one of the most destructive forces in this environment. Now one may argue, hey, if I don't sell it, somebody else gonna sell it. Or I'd rather you not sell it and do something to fight against it than assist in it. So what we have now is that we have a person that has destroyed generations for their own personal gain, the highest level of selfishness, next to the pimp in my game. And this is the person that we praise. Or the murderer. Fire, it seemed like, hey, with black media, listen, with these things, all I hear is if it's not selling drugs or the drugs they sold back in the day, it's violence against another man that they did or they're doing now or they're about to do, or some mix up with some womanizing. Those are the three, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but those are the three topics, like 90% of the stuff. Even old athletes, all they talk about is fighting the mix up fire. Don't nobody talk about the game too much. Don't nobody talk about no strategy. Don't nobody talk no skill set. It's either some arguing and mix up. Now, I'm not knocking them because they dealing with business. I'm asking the consumer now, right? If you don't want to hear these things and you're looking for something different, why are you listening to this?
What I don't understand is there's different systems. And people think of politicians as just those formal guys that run in office. But when you think about the whole scale of the thing, Adan is a politician. Adan have a system, you know. And Adan feeds into a bigger Dan. And him have people below him who work for him and bring income. It's just not from a formal aspect as you would know it based off of this system, because this system wouldn't be promoting a system that is rising up against their system. So it's a whole structure and an identity. So we have to think about dance and think about drug dealers and think about all of the man them where I put certain meditation as being politicians in a sense. So that's why them do politics. Really politics them really are dealing with, you know, because remember you check it out, you have to have people for look out for you and say, oh, the Dan did me can send my youth to school to, you know. And then these things that people need, the necessities, them provide the necessities because they need people to feed into that system. So the same concept, but people look at this as different. Public relations is not a normal thing. We're driven by that system either. And what we look at that system, because we're opposing one system, we start follow our next system that support wrongs. And we push that system with support wrongs in justification of that system doing wrong. So we're not finding a solution. We're just creating two alternate universe. We just create two alternate universe of negativity, and there's no positivity to drive it. Like a man that say, you know, say, no good music. Or you ever said no good music not being made? You are the consumer of the music that is negative. So how you say no good music not being made? If you want for the roots, if you want for listen roots music, and you listen roots music, and you're not hearing your artist that you expect to sing roots music, then you're not gonna listen roots music from look how much people making roots music, but you're gonna complain that about that one person not listening. That means you don't support roots music. You support that person, so just go and support that person. Then why you complaining? So it's a whole confusion within the whole thing where everyone leave out the aspect of reality, and there is no reality. It's almost like everybody in their own world. Like even a white man pick up a camera right now and go about all of these different communities in the Caribbean and perpetrate all of these violence and all of these things. And them have him as like him doing something good. But really in reality, the white man can enter the community and you're not going to hurt him. But if a brother enter the community, then it's just war. Or you're telling him about war. When he's not set, he's making money off of you, showcasing your war. And have the authority for walking there because him know you can't touch him because that is a world crisis. But yet still.
And he's showing the lowest level of your culture. All right, I just want to take the thing I've really been struggling with, man. I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot about, if we were to put out more positive stuff and this and that. I'm not sure. Because I think the taste of the people has been so calibrated. Whether, and this is the thing, man, it's always this external. Everything is external. Everything is external, right? And I'm not sure if the taste is because the system has conditioned them, or the conditioning has kind of grown on its own, like some type of bacteria, and kind of been growing on its own, and this is what it is right now. Is it fully external influence, or what's there in the DNA has kind of started to grow?
Remember, say it's a mixture of both, because with everybody think of this culture as being, they don't understand the concept of the importance of having a culture that is striving and doing positive things. So when we have a culture and negativity, and if one generation come and get the negativity, they're going to add their touch to the negativity, and now they're going to amp up the negativity. So when you have a next culture will come after that, no. Remember this concept of evolution, and evolution is not just a positive thing. People can evolve towards a stage of negativity. Like how we see Earth, I go no. It starts from a certain thing, and there were bloody periods. Then there became periods of joy and striving among kingdoms when the kingdoms at peace. So we understand the concept. But when most people don't understand, they don't have to accept, say, this is one of these times in history that will go down as there's no form of unity, there's no form of progress. Right now, much youth lack financial strength all across the board for do some positive things, and there's nobody there to teach them this. Even the concept of even data science and all of these fields where these industry growing 33% year over year and all of these things, where all of the youth them need to know that are the thing where them need to go to and learn about these things, and them not have nobody to show them thing. And then them can't with them more about money and so because we couldn't do this, that. You have to learn some of these things that you even have to go college for. We even have how the youth, the juvenile them not being taught these things because everybody is so focused on the criticism. They don't realize how much time passed by and they're not fixing their whole thing. And then some people know the individuality that seep in the culture. Oh, but look at XYZ. He has a lot of millions, so why can't all the youths have all a lot of millions? Not realizing that in that individual growth, it's not the growth of the whole culture, the growth of us as a people. There's some little individual growths within the pockets. And we don't realize that that's not real progress. Progress is a collective. It have to have collective security behind it. What have we done as a people for have a pipeline for the youth to build up on anything at all? We have to keep on doing these things. We're gonna highlight. We have to keep a network same way. Just like how as simple as it is, and we can talk to the personal example. Same way the other day at the event, a lot of people it might just seem like an event to everybody, the Black History Month celebration, but it's a real depiction of Black excellence really striving and farming in a sense. You have I Never Knew TV, you have Red Music Group, you have Vital Shop, Vital Kitchen, all of these with some Black brothers just connect and I do a certain things within 3 different fields. Just a connect. And as simple as we want to see that some look at what collective security are you doing? How are you striving within a group? And which are you mentoring a youth? Are you telling a youth some form of positivity? Are you just looking and being this big consumer, consuming all the negative things taking place? And now the youth become this person who consume it even more than you. And then the culture start deteriorate. And there's no morals, there's no principle. Everybody telling you that financial success is the ultimate success. Oh, and once a man have money, they don't care about his morality at all. And that's what the culture become right now. Like from a man of money, he's the ultimate.
We talk about the algorithm, but we don't talk about our own algorithm, right? We have the algorithm on your social media, but we don't talk about the algorithm in our minds and what we feed and what we're feeding into. And this is what people don't understand is that, yes, there is a conditioning, there's a collective conditioning that we have to accept, right? But there is a responsibility for yourself to uncondition yourself. And I think that's the part. I know that comes with accountability. I know that comes with consistency. I know that comes with action. I know that comes with a lot of work, which people don't want to deal with. But if we are to see any change, more and more people are going to have to, because most people now, their unconditioning comes when like some crazy thing in life happens for you. And we need to get away from that. We don't need this end of life situation for you to figure, say, yo, this thing is foolishness. You know, you need to get above the curve and understand that a lot of these things that we are praising, that we're consuming, is not only detrimental to the collective, it's detrimental to yourself. And I think that people view themselves and the collective as separate. And I think that's where they find themselves in problems. And you have to be very strategic what you're giving energy to, because this is the thing. When you're watching a certain thing, right, and regurgitating it and sharing with another person, now you're a piece of propaganda. You're sharing that idea that's detrimental. You're praising something that's detrimental. By you praising it, you're giving it the stamp that it's okay, and it's not okay. And it's okay to remove yourself from certain conversations. But I just think that moving forward, we need less critique and more action.
Man.
I think that's the vibe, because it's just a vibe. Dudes just like to sit and critique, like, yeah, you know, boom, boom. But it's like, what are you doing? And I'm not telling you gotta be out here marching with 50 people or in front of you or have no big seminar. As I said, you can just be the example or get yourself together. Wouldn't that be the greatest thing? If you didn't support it and just be an example, people could look to you and say, yo, you know, this man really deal with certain things. Yeah. And I think that's where we need to be at, man. It's just too much. I guess it's cool to complain. It's cool to critique. But like, I don't know. It's kind of weird in the sense that like people been groomed to behave in a certain manner.
That's the thing. Is that's go back to that old conditioning same way, and we don't even understand how the machine feed we. The machine pump up and give we some. So the machine does give we the GMO give it and a feed with the whole concept, and we see all them big cutter slices and them big things, and the big things just look good. Yeah, all people used to say that all that glitter is gold, and I think we really need to start bringing some more of these sayings to and start really remind ourselves that, see, this word sound and power thing is very powerful. You see the things and where you spread all of the messages, then where you spread the energy that you give off, that is a form of liberation, you know? And the energies that most of us give off is not any form of energy that we would want to carry around. It's just a sour type of taste. They have this cruel type of face, and the dark energy is almost like it's so common now. It's like a common thing. I want to understand, say, the energy alone we give off, it not benefit the culture. It not benefit the upliftment. It says a lot about. You didn't mean it says a lot about you too, you know. Enough people don't understand, you know. You have a man militant, you can know a man a militant, you can know a woman a militant. You hear them talk, you hear what them a say, you look, you can see in the meditation when them a talk, and you overstand, and that energy that them give off, it influence and change the life of a lot of youths. And them you don't even know that, but the energy that you give off now, you don't teach, you don't be that bridge to make a youth can connect and learn anything. But and then the youth now in turn to that, and to them, toxicity is all right, it's cool. Oh, I don't have an opinion. Too much, everybody wants to have an opinion on every single thing. And this is why I want to have my say. Even if I know it doesn't make any sense, I still want to have my say. Why do you want to have your say instead of doing the right way and understanding that sometimes you can just listen and learn certain things too? And then what you will learn, you try to make sure that other people can learn that, and you set a little culture, and the energy is there. But there's no energy, there are no sequence that we create for as any safe space when it comes to the concept of positivity in our brain where we exert to others.
And the last thing I want to say far is that before we spend majority of time critiquing, I think like Midnight say you got to turn the eye back on yourself and just use that energy to get yourself together. Because, hey, you know, I say everybody's an expert. They're just an expert in the wrong thing. You know, so shifts back some of that time and spend it to figure out the things that you need to improve yourself, because you got to figure, hey, if I spent an hour scrolling through TikTok, another hour scrolling through Instagram, and say I'm trying to, you know, get healthier, I could at least spend a half hour looking at quick recipes I could put together, or what ingredients, what herbs, what spices, what roots are benefiting me, or efficient ways to cook. So I think we need to like shift what we're an expert in, because the hypocrisy is real. And I think too many people are publicly criticizing things they support in private. And it shows in the behavior because there's an inconsistency, you know? That's like a man or a man tell me about he on this and that, and I seen him with a Gucci belt. I can't take you seriously, fire. I'm gonna take this man seriously. Yeah. You know, you can say whatever you want. I just look at the actions. You know, instead of looking, I'm just saying me, but other people that's trying to build themselves up, they need to look at their own actions and focus on that. I think that's what need to focus. What's going on with you? What's going on in your house? What's going on with you? Like, what are you doing?
Okay, I sit down on the computer every day, and I watch celebrity, and I tell people about celebrity, and I tell man say you're progressive. You can't progressive if I that your meditation, and all you do is just these negativity come out, you spread them, you share them, you spread them, you talk about them straight.
WhatsApp reposting, easy.
Yeah, man.
Change your algorithm. Change
Yes, man.
what you give attention to. Everybody critiquing where everybody's. What are you giving attention to? What are you consuming? That's where we need to start.
Yeah, where you do.
And when you build yourself up, maybe you just start trying to encourage someone. But the greatest encouragement is your behavior.
Yeah, man. Where you do, man? Serious stuff.